What's up, everyone, and welcome to Project X Talk Extra, your weekly podcast supplement from Project X Talk. And yes, I know we've been doing two of these, but the Halo TV show needs its own. You know what I'm
Oh
saying?
yeah.
So,
Oh yeah.
this is where we cover games, news, or whatever else that didn't quite make the main show. I'm your host, Kevin, aka the Muffin Mon, and today I'm joined by Mr. Physical Copy himself, Ethan. How you doing?
I'm doing fantastic. How you doing, Kev?
Still dying from the flu, but we're
Yeah.
getting through. This is recording day, so people might notice we don't change our clothes in between these videos.
I
That's
wear the
because
Mr. Rogers shirt 4 days a week.
yeah. Respect. Keep his name out your.
Oh no, we're not doing this. We're not doing it.
Okay. Well, guys, today we are here to talk about a new Star Wars game that is in development at Skydance New Media. This studio was founded in 2019 by Amy Hennig. Announced on Tuesday, Lucasfilm Games and Skydance are working together for a new Star Wars game. Hennig previously worked on a Star Wars game at EA's Visceral Games studio, but it was ultimately canceled and the studio was shut down. The new game is described as, quote, richly cinematic action adventure game featuring an original story. Skydance is also working on an Untitled Marvel game, but with this announcement, there are now at least 5 other Star Wars games in development,
It's a good time to
including
be alive.
Quantic Dreams Star Wars Eclipse, an open world Star Wars game from Ubisoft's Massive, and 3 games from EA's Respawn, which will include the sequel to Jedi Fallen Order.
Oh,
So, Star Wars games are plentiful right now. What do you
yeah.
make of this new announcement, Ethan?
I gotta say, it is a good time to be a Star Wars fan. Um, in terms of video games, television, and soon to be film, they're going to be starting up making more of these spin-off series like Rogue One and Solo again. But I mean, this is exciting. You say Star Wars, you say cinematic, you say action adventure. Those are all the elements I want to see in a video game. This reminds me of Knights of the Old Republic. It's an action adventure RPG. Those are the type of games that Star Wars fits the best. So just to see more of that, I'm happy with it. And if one of these aren't good, like you listed off a bunch of them, some of them might not be that great, but at least we're going to have some that are. That's what excites me the most. I will get an incredible Star Wars experience out of this battle.
I think this goes to show because EA had a grip on the Star Wars license for 2 decades.
They were throttling it.
And they
Except
were
for Fallen Order. That's the only one they got out that was good. And Squadrons was kind of fun too, but it wasn't like a crazy big AAA game,
Yeah, they were not doing the IP justice. And now that we have all these other studios working with Lucasfilm Games to get the IP, to make their own original stories in the Star Wars universe, I think it's going to be a much better decade for Star Wars than what we've previously seen. Obviously, towards the end of last decade, we saw a few games coming out like Jedi Fallen Order, which were well received. But I think that if we're looking forward, the future is brighter than ever for this IP, especially in the games media. I'm not entirely sold on Amy Hennig. I know she has a big reputation in the game industry, but in terms of the games I enjoy to play, she has not made one. And I
What
know
games
that's
has she worked on? I'm not crazy familiar with
I
her body work.
believe she did Uncharted, I believe, unless I'm speaking out
Oh,
my
I
butt.
mean, that's a legendary series, so I mean, I'm sure there'll
Uh,
be justice done.
yeah, let me just type. I want to ask you while I look this up.
Yeah.
Are you afraid that we're going to get Star Wars fatigue?
Oh, that's a good question. Um, for me personally, I'm not going to get fatigue, but Star Wars is like one of my favorite it's just my favorite thing. Is Star Wars. I absolutely adore Star Wars. I mean, the last 4 days I've watched 3 movies and also played through basically the entirety of Skywalker Saga. That's a normal week for me. I absolutely adore Star Wars. I love every project that they've been doing. Any sort of media I consume, comic books, television, movie, video game, all that stuff, I consume it like crazy. In terms of the general public, I guess you could say, maybe. It's hard to say without like movies coming out either. I think that's the big draw when it comes to Star Wars. If we're not in a big movie cycle with Star Wars, then all this secondary or tertiary media coming out, it doesn't really bog down a lot of people. And I think these games are going to be coming out separated enough. Like I know Eclipse isn't coming out until like 2027 or something like that. And
Mhm.
I'm sure the Ubisoft one is way far out too. We know how long and how big
Yeah.
Ubisoft games are. So they probably have a lot to work to do while also working on Assassin's Creed and working on, the next
Yeah,
Watch Dogs
and
and all that stuff.
yeah, and
So
that's the Ubisoft games from the team that did The Division. So it's they're keeping an open world game. So
right.
just to go back, Amy Hennig, she's done Uncharted, Drake's Fortune,
Yep.
Uncharted 2, Uncharted 3, Legacy of Kain series. The only game on here that I like that she has worked on is Jack 3.
Oh,
And that was 2004. So I wouldn't
a
say
long
that,
time ago.
and but
Yeah.
I that doesn't mean the game's not be good. I obviously have a very unique taste in video games.
Because
People,
Uncharted is a good pedigree. I mean, these are
according to most people,
award-winning video games. So
according to most people, according to me, they look bland and uninteresting. My brother likes one and a half of them. He played through all four of
yeah,
them. So I think there is, and obviously this is a brand new studio. They have yet to make
right.
a game. She is riding off the reputation. They have the Marvel game coming. They have this Star Wars game. So they're obviously deep root, like good ties with Disney over there to
Yeah.
get these IPs. So
But this is definitely an unknown factor within the group of
mhm.
games. That we know what the Ubisoft Star Wars is going to be like. We know what the EA
Yeah,
Star Wars is going to be like. We don't know what this is going to be like. This is all we have is that cinematic action adventure. And like I said, I need more to get a more deep opinion on what I think this is going to be. But in terms of just face value, cinematic action adventure Star Wars experience, I'm in. I'm ready
mhm.
for it.
Yep. I'm definitely open to giving it a chance.
Yeah,
I'm always looking for, games that will appeal to me. And I like Star Wars. I'm not a super Star Wars fan. Like I don't watch the Disney Plus stuff. That doesn't really interest me all that much.
Whew.
It I tried. The Mandalorian didn't really do anything for
I
me.
feel you. I feel you.
But I know there are people out there, diehards, that love everything Star Wars. Like the Lego game just came out, and that's getting rave
Oh,
reviews.
it's
But
great.
thank you for my fantasy team. I really appreciate everyone loving that. I'm not going to play it, but I appreciate you all loving it. I just, as long as the games are spaced out, I think that we'll be in for a good decade of Star Wars games. If the games are rapid fire, like hey, Visceral's is 2026 and
Right.
Amy Hennig's is 2026, like do we need two Star Wars games a year? Not to mention like who else might be making a Star Wars game that hasn't
Yeah.
been announced? Because it's not like they make 5 deals and they're like, okay, nobody can use the Star Wars IP now. Like we're
Yeah.
holding off.
And
They're
all
gonna
the while,
keep
there's
making them.
damn near 8 TV shows in production right
Hmm.
now for Star Wars, both animated and not animated. I mean, Kenobi is about to come out. That's the next big one that's supposed to drop. Super excited for that. But you were talking about Star Wars fatigue. It is very much possible because that is within our culture. People who play video games normally are watching shows like this.
Yeah, yeah.
So, we'll see what happens.
I bring it up because I've heard people talk about MCU fatigue, like they're getting burnt out on like Marvel. Like after Endgame, a lot of people are like, I don't care anymore. Like that kind of like was the culmination, and now they're not in
But
for
they're
the stuff that
still
comes after.
making more money than ever.
And I'm in for it. Like I'm
Yeah.
here. I'm day one for everything Marvel because
I
I'm
will
a
say I
fanboy.
did feel the Marvel fatigue for a while there until I watched Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings. That's what reinvigorated my love for Marvel. So,
That was a surprise hit for me. Like I went and saw
yeah,
it simply just because it's an MCU film, and then I was like, wow, I really love that
this
film.
is cool. So, I think the same thing is going to happen with Star Wars. We're going to get to a point where it's like, okay, it's the third or fourth show that we've been on Tatooine. I'm bored. You're just showing us desert environments,
Mhm.
or oh my god, another Star Wars game. But there's going to be that one hit because that's what these big IPs do. And it's funny. Both of these are owned by Disney. Imagine how much money they're raking in right now.
Oh yeah, the mouse.
It's
The I
ridiculous.
welcome. I welcome our mouse overlord.
Oh my
Once
gosh,
I'm
I
on
do
my
too.
Disney Plus healthcare plan, I'll be loving it.
All hail Mickey.
All hail Mickey. I can't wait to go to the doctor. Oh man, what a world that would be. But we will wait and see. The only thing I know for certain is better at pod racing. Give me pod racing.
Oh, that would be cool too.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm with you on that, Kev. I'm with you on that.
And some space fights, obviously, like Star Wars Battlefront 2, the original on the Xbox, like
Ooh, yeah.
that's what I'm looking for. That kind of space
You might like
combat.
Squadrons.
I might like. I think
It's
it's
like
first
20 bucks
person
now
though,
or
right?
something. No, it can be first or third, and it's
Oh,
VR.
I didn't know. I thought it was only first person, and that
Yeah.
like limited view really put me off. So
No, I'm pretty sure it's third, if I'm remembering it correctly. I might
My
not be. I haven't played it in a
I
while.
don't know. My big thing with the original was you could get out of the ship and then you like invade the other spaceship and like damage it from
That
the
was cool. That's
inside.
Battlefront.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's what I'm looking for. Like I want stuff like that. Like that's what I really love in the multiplayer aspect of those games.
Yeah. Hopefully. We'll wait and see.
But Ethan, where can people find you?
They can find me at White Cedar1 on Twitter and Gravy3448 on Xbox.
And you can find me at the Muffin Mods at 107I and 07A. Follow us at Project X Talk to stay up to date with all of our latest. Until next week, we'll see you. Goodbye.
Peace.